I want to share with you 10 declarations, 10 fundamental truths that you must tell yourself every single morning. These are not suggestions. They are absolute requirements if you are serious about mastering your focus in an age designed to steal it. These are not just productivity hacks or mindfulness platitudes. These are the core principles that, when internalized, will transform not just your workday, but your entire creative existence. The digital noise, the constant notifications, the endless scroll. These are the curveballs life throws at us now. But the first truth is the one that gives you back the power. Today, let's explore the deep and life-changing wisdom of Jim Rohn as I recall the moments he shared these truths with me. The first thing you must tell yourself every morning is this: today, I am in complete control of my response to every digital distraction. Now, I'm not saying you're in control of the algorithm. I'm not saying you control the endless wave of emails, the urgent pings from clients, or the new social media platform that just fragmented your audience. You can't control the economy. You can't control the market trends. You can't control the criticism in your comment section. Those things will happen, but you absolutely 100% can control your response. Jim Rohn always made it a point to remind us that between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. For the modern entrepreneur, that space is the millisecond between your phone buzzing on the desk and your hand reaching for it. The sound of that notification, that sharp ding, it echoes in the quiet home office like a siren's call. The air suddenly feels heavy with manufactured urgency, the glow of the screen pulsing in your peripheral vision, the scent of your morning coffee suddenly forgotten. Your ergonomic chair feels like a cage. Your fingers itch to pick up the device. This is the stimulus. Most people react. Boom. They see the notification and they are pulled out of deep work, their focus shattered, their entire creative flow derailed for the next 20 minutes just to check something that rarely matters. They become slaves to the bell. Their peers, their clients, their followers have conditioned them to believe that an instant reply is a sign of professionalism. They get messages, "Are you even working? Why are you ignoring me?" But successful, focused entrepreneurs learn to pause in that space. They hear the buzz, they feel the pull, but they ask, "Does this serve my mission right now? Or is this just noise?" They let the phone buzz. They let the email sit. They understand that urgent and important are rarely the same thing. When you wake up and declare that you control your response, you are choosing to be the architect of your attention, not a victim of the digital tide. You are building a fortress around your mind. This leads us to the second declaration. You must tell yourself, "I am responsible for my own focus and my own digital well-being." Responsibility is not a burden, my friends. It's the ultimate privilege. It's the price you pay to design a life of purpose instead of a life of reaction. When you truly accept responsibility for your own focus, something profound happens. You stop blaming. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming the algorithm for your lack of reach. You stop blaming the social media platforms for your anxiety. You stop blaming your clients for your lack of boundaries. You stop waiting for some new productivity app to magically fix your procrastination. Blame is a warm, comfortable blanket that smothers your potential. I knew a young man, a talented graphic designer whose business was failing. He would spend hours complaining about the algorithm. "My work is brilliant," he'd say, "but the platform is blind. It only promotes garbage." His friends would suggest, "Maybe try a new format. Maybe study what's working," but he'd refuse. "No, my art is pure. I won't sell out." He was blaming the algorithm for his refusal to adapt. He was blaming the gurus for selling bad strategies. He was blaming the hustle culture for his burnout. And while he was busy pointing fingers at every external force, his dreams were slipping away, one distracted, bitter day at a time. His business folded. He had to get a job he hated. He blamed the world, but the fault was his. Because when you wake up and tell yourself, "I am responsible," you take the power back. You're saying that if your digital habits aren't working, you're going to change them. If you feel overwhelmed by notifications, you are going to turn them off. If your workspace is full of distractions, you are going to clean it. You are taking the wheel of your digital life instead of being a passenger, endlessly scrolling to a destination you never chose. This brings us to the third thing you must declare every morning. My past digital failures do not define my future success. This one is vital for every entrepreneur because the digital world moves so fast that it leaves a trail of failures in its wake. Failed product launches, ad campaigns that flopped, videos that got 10 views, social media accounts that never grew. So many people are prisoners of their own digital history. They look at their past results and use them as evidence for why they can't succeed. They say, "I'm just not good at marketing," or "My content never goes viral," or "I guess I just don't have what it takes to build an online brand." But your past is not your future unless you decide to live there. Your analytics from yesterday are not your destiny. I remember watching a young creator, utterly defeated. His first online course had failed spectacularly. He'd spent 6 months building it, surviving on instant noodles, the taste of stale coffee and anxiety thick in his mouth at 3 a.m. He launched it, and silence. The striped dashboard was an empty, echoing void. He sold 7 copies. The humiliation was crushing. The few comments he got were brutal. "Refund, this is a scam." "Look at this expert, can't even sell 10 copies." His own internal dialogue was even worse. "They're right. I'm a fraud. I should just get a real job." My mentor would be ashamed. He was ready to delete his entire channel, to erase the evidence of his failure. But after months of struggle, he finally understood this principle. He didn't delete the channel. Instead, with his heart pounding, his hands shaking, he recorded a new video. "My course failed, and here's what I learned." He was terrified. But that one act of owning his failure, rather than being defined by it, was the turning point. The video went viral. People connected with his honesty, not his curated perfection. It didn't just save his channel, it built a community. When you tell yourself your past doesn't define you, you give yourself permission to pivot, to rebrand, to learn, and to become more than you were yesterday. This connects directly to the 4th morning declaration. I am constantly growing and improving my digital skills. Growth is not automatic. Just because you post every day doesn't mean you're getting better. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're making progress. Growth requires intention. It demands a commitment to becoming a more skilled, more focused, and more valuable creator today than you were yesterday. When you wake up with this mindset, you approach every piece of content, every client interaction, as a learning opportunity. A negative comment becomes a lesson in audience understanding. A software bug becomes a training ground for problem solving. A failed launch becomes a masterclass in market research. You stop seeing yourself as a finished product, an expert, and start seeing yourself as a work in progress. For 3 months, one entrepreneur I knew forced himself to learn a complex new video editing software. His first few attempts were disastrous. The footage was choppy, the audio was a mess. His eyes burned from the blue light, his wrists ached from the unfamiliar keyboard shortcuts. The frustration was so thick you could feel it. His internal dialogue was screaming, "This is impossible. The old way is good enough. Why are you wasting this time?" Even his partner said, "You've been at this for weeks. Just hire someone. You're neglecting everything else." He was tempted to quit, to go back to his simple, old tool. But he stuck with it, late into the night, studying tutorials, testing strategies that failed one after another. Then, one evening, it clicked. He found the rhythm. The tools obeyed him. His skills leveled up, and suddenly, his ability to communicate his vision doubled. 6 months later, he landed a 5-figure client specifically because of that new, dynamic visual style. He welcomed the challenge because he knew it was the only way to grow. The 5th thing you must tell yourself builds on this. I attract digital opportunities by being prepared and staying alert. Opportunity in the digital world doesn't knock randomly. It seeks out those who have their systems in place, who have done the work, who are ready to recognize and act. Most people complain they never get any breaks, they never go viral, they never land the big client. The truth is, the breaks are flying by them every day. They just don't see them because they're not prepared. Being unprepared in the digital world is like trying to catch a monsoon with a thimble. You're just overwhelmed by the water you can't hold. I remember a young blogger who loved writing about a very specific niche, ancient gardening techniques. Her friends mocked her. "Why are you shouting into the void? No one is reading that. You're wasting your time." For 2 years, she wrote one high-quality, deeply researched article every single week. Her readership was tiny, but she was building an archive. She was preparing. Then, one day, a major lifestyle magazine was doing a story on sustainable living and stumbled upon her blog. They featured her, a single backlink. Suddenly, a flood of traffic hit her site. Because she was prepared, that traffic didn't just bounce. They found a library of 100 other incredible articles. They found an email list ready to capture their interest. That one break turned her blog into a 6-figure business with a book deal. She didn't get lucky. She was ready. Preparation is what turns a sudden traffic spike into a sustainable business. It's what turns a casual inquiry into a long-term client. Most people want the viral moment without the backlog of quality content. They want the harvest without planting the seeds. But success requires you to prepare yourself in advance. This mindset leads us to the 6th morning declaration. My education and personal development are my highest priorities, above shallow consumption. In our rapidly changing digital world, your ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is your single greatest asset. The algorithm that works today won't work next year. The platform that's dominant today might be irrelevant in 3. When you make real education your priority, you are investing in the one asset that can never be taken away, your mind. You can lose your social media account, you can lose your clients, you can lose your ad budget, but no one can take away what you know and who you've become. But here's the critical distinction. Education is not the same as consumption. Scrolling social media feeds, watching endless short-form videos, or passively consuming content is not education. That is entertainment masquerading as development. It's a thief dressed as a teacher. You know the feeling. The thumb moving unconsciously, the dull ache behind the eyes, the hour that just evaporated, leaving behind a residue of anxiety and envy. That is not growth. That is a trap. Real education is deliberate. It's reading the book. It's taking the difficult course. It's hiring the mentor. It's dedicating an hour of focused offline study for every hour you spend creating online. Drawing from what Jim Rohn taught me, the formal education of scrolling might get you by in conversation, but the self-education of focused study will build your fortune. The most successful entrepreneurs I know are voracious learners, but they are disciplined consumers. Swap 30 minutes of passive scrolling for 30 minutes of active reading. That single change will revolutionize your career. The seventh thing you must tell yourself every morning is, I choose to focus on solutions, not problems. This is a game changer for digital entrepreneurs because this industry is 90% problem solving. Most people are problem focused. Their energy and attention are glued to what's wrong. My engagement is down. This client is impossible. The ad platform rejected my creative. My competitor just stole my idea. They talk about their problems, they ruminate on them, they post about them in forums, and their problems grow. But when you choose to focus on solutions, your mind becomes a creative powerhouse. Let me give you a scenario. An entrepreneur wakes up to an email from his biggest client. The text feels like it's shouting, words in all caps, highlighted in red. Where is the report? This is unacceptable. The problem-focused mind goes into panic. I'm going to lose them. They'll ruin my reputation. This is a catastrophe. My assistant must have forgotten. I'm ruined. But the solution-focused mind pauses, breathes, acknowledges the problem, and then asks the magic question, how can I turn this around? He immediately shifts. Okay, the problem is a missed deadline and broken trust. Step 1, solve the immediate problem. Step 2, solve the system problem. He works for 2 hours, finishes the report, and sends it with a sincere apology and a full explanation. But he doesn't stop there. He spends the rest of the day creating a new, transparent project management dashboard for all his clients and offers this client a 20% discount on the next month as an apology. He didn't just save the client. He turned a critic into his biggest advocate. He turned a catastrophe into a system upgrade. If this lesson speaks to you directly, write in the comments, I focus on solutions. And if you want more content like this, subscribe now. The 8th morning declaration flows from this. I am building something meaningful with my digital platform. This is about purpose. It's about legacy. It's about making your life and your digital footprint count for something more than just metrics or money. When you wake up with the conviction that you're building something meaningful, you connect your daily actions, even the tedious ones, like answering emails or editing code, to a larger purpose. Most people drift through their digital lives. They follow the trends. They post what they think will get likes. They chase the next shiny object, but they're not building anything significant. Chasing trends is like building a sandcastle. It might look impressive for an afternoon, but the tide of the next algorithm change will wash it all away. Building with meaning is like quarrying stone. It's slow, it's heavy, it's unglamorous. You are building a cathedral. People will walk by and mock you. Your content is too slow. Why don't you do the fun dance challenge? You'd get more views. You're not playing the game right. But you are not playing their game. You are building something that will last. When you have this sense of purpose, you stop wasting time on viral hacks that don't align with your values and start investing your energy in work that will matter in 10 years. This is your anchor in the storm of digital trends. The 9th thing you must declare is, I am grateful for the audience I have while working for the audience I want. Gratitude is the foundation of all abundance. Ingratitude, on the other hand, feels like a constant, gnawing hunger. Even after a win, the first thought is, what's next? Or, why wasn't it bigger? It's a void that can't be filled. When you're grateful for the 100 followers you have, you treat them with respect, you provide them immense value, and you're in a position to receive more. When you're ungrateful, when you focus only on what you lack, you repel the very people you're trying to attract. But gratitude alone isn't enough. Some people use gratitude as an excuse for complacency. They stop striving. The key is to find that magic balance, to be deeply grateful for where you are, while staying intensely ambitious for where you want to be. Active gratitude isn't a pillow to rest on, it's a launch pad to jump from. It's a warmth, a solid foundation under your feet. You're content but not complacent. You're satisfied but not settled. This balance keeps you positive and motivated. When you feel that digital envy, that ingratitude, stop. Write down one specific person you helped that day. One good comment you received. Feel the gratitude, then get back to work on the ambition. And now, the 10th and final thing you must tell yourself. Today is an opportunity to become the focused, disciplined entrepreneur I am meant to be. This is the culmination of all the others. It's about identity. It's not just about doing deep work. It's about becoming a deep worker. It's not just about avoiding distraction. It's about becoming someone who is indistractable. As my friend Jim Rohn used to point out, success is something you attract by the person you become. When you wake up with this understanding, you approach the day with profound intentionality. You ask, what kind of entrepreneur do I want to be today? How do I want to show up in my inbox? What character qualities do I want to demonstrate when I face criticism? This perspective transforms ordinary digital moments into opportunities for growth. You're sitting at your desk. You have to write a difficult proposal, and you feel it, that magnetic pull towards a quick break. The internal negotiation, just 5 minutes of social media, I deserve it. The justification, I'm just researching. And then, like a bolt splitting the sky, the truth hits you. The procrastination isn't about the work. The distraction isn't about the phone. It's a test of identity. Every time you choose to close the tab and do the hard thing, you're casting a vote for focused entrepreneur. Every time you give in, you cast a vote for distracted amateur. The focused entrepreneur you're meant to be isn't some distant ideal. It's the person you can choose to be right now, in this moment. These 10 declarations are not magic. They won't transform your focus overnight. But if you make them part of your morning ritual, if you say them with conviction, if you let them guide your actions, they will begin to reshape your reality from the inside out. The quality of your digital life is determined by the quality of your self-talk. Most people tell themselves, I'm so distracted, I can't focus. The algorithm hates me. But successful creators tell themselves, I am in control of my response. I focus on solutions. I am constantly growing. You have to make this a habit. Repetition is the mother of skill, and it's also the mother of belief. When you repeat these declarations, they sink into your subconscious. They become your new programming. What starts as conscious effort, I will not check my phone, becomes an unconscious habit. And let me warn you, when you start, your old programming will fight back. Your inner critic will scream, this is silly, just check it. What if it's important? You're missing out. This won't work. That's just your old programming trying to maintain control. Keep making your declarations. Act as if they are true until they become true. Your emotions follow your actions. Act like a focused person, and you will become a focused person. This isn't just about your quarterly earnings. This is about the person you become, the example you set. This is the software you are installing in yourself, the software you will one day pass on. This is your generational legacy. Years from now, a new generation of entrepreneurs and creators will be navigating challenges we can't even imagine. And they will look back, not at the noise, not at the shallow trends, but at the cathedrals from Deck 8 that this generation built. They will look for models of success. Will they find a sea of distracted, burnt-out creators who chased likes? Or will they find the work of focused, intentional, meaningful builders? They will learn from your discipline. They will be inspired by your focus. They will see that it was possible to live a life of intention even in the age of distraction. That is the real legacy. Not the followers, not the revenue, but the proof that you chose to master your mind. The successful life is built on successful days. Successful days begin with successful mornings, and successful mornings begin with successful self-talk. Your future self, the focused, successful, and fulfilled creator you are capable of becoming, is waiting for you to make this decision. It all begins with what you tell yourself tomorrow morning. I'm grateful you spent this time reflecting on Jim Rohn's teachings with me. Let them guide your growth. Hit subscribe to stay motivated, like if this inspired you, and comment your favorite takeaway.